she back and I see Prodigy alone. Mama wanna suck and to swallow me. Why?
Welcome to the check-in report, where the party never really ends, does it? I am your humble host, True and Living, and we are here to talk about Monique, Team Mo. Monique and her husband has responded to her estranged son. If you don't know, her estranged son, her oldest son, it goes by the name of Shalon. He had some gripes with Monique. He's feeling abandoned by her. He's felt, a lot of hurt by her. He's felt like she's never really been there for him. He feels abandoned, like as I said. And Monique, she talked about it a little bit on Shannon Sharp's podcast about her estranged relationship with her eldest son. But we want to go more in depth. We want to talk more about what happened, what happened, and how he's feeling. Because, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was Team Mo. I was Team Mo for a little bit, for with the whole D.L. Hughley thing and the whole Tyler Perry and Oprah thing. I was very much Team Mo. But as more started to come out, she started walking back a lot of her stories. She started reneging a couple of her stories. Her and her husband did a video talking about how the information that she gave was incorrect about D.L. Hughley, right? So, she has been deemed, respectfully, in my opinion, a liar. Monique is a liar. She's been caught in a couple lies. Now, she went on Shannon Sharp's podcast talking about her estranged relationship with her son. Is she going to mend those wounds? I've seen the video. We're going to get into the video, but this young man is hurt. And, he's not taking the path of, I'm talking down upon his mother or, saying, disrespectful things about his mother. He hasn't taken that path. This is a man who has come to terms with his relationship with his mother. He still has love for her, or capacity of love for her, but he realizes that she wasn't a good individual for his life. He realizes that she was not a good mother. He realizes these things, and we're going to go into his thoughts, but ultimately we want to get into the first thing. Let's get into the first thing. Let's play the segment from the Shannon Sharp podcast. Let me put myself on the camera here. Put my luscious self, beautiful, handsome self on the camera here. Let me hit that warning button, by the way. Let's hit that warning button. Hopefully my warning button isn't working. Okay. Let's get to the video on the Shannon Sharp podcast, though, where she was talking about... Warning. That was the warning button that I played, that I clicked 5 seconds ago. But let's get into her thoughts on the Shannon Sharp podcast, because Shannon Sharp did ask her about the estranged relationship that she has with her son. So let's get into that clip first.
Wow. What's your relationship like? Is he resentful of that?
He's talking about, if you don't know, he's bringing up the eldest son, Shalon. And she gets in depth. She talks about it a little bit, the relationship she has with her eldest son. Let's get into that.
We're still very much separated.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where you have to pray to the universe and say, let time do the healing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Right.
That's it. Let time do that healing. It may heal it in time, and it may not. Right. And that.
Hold on, Monique. Hold the phone, Monique. You mean to tell me you've been calling everybody sweet baby, the sweet babies, the sweet baby this and the sweet babies that, but you ain't been taking care of your sweet baby? Monique, tell me it isn't so. You done called everybody sweet baby this and sweet baby that. But why aren't you giving your sweet baby that love and affection and care? The young man is crying out for it. The man feels abandoned by you. And you know, I'm going to get into it a little bit later, but a lot of young men go through this where, you know, their mother may not be with their biological father anymore, and their mother finds a new man, and she gets into this whole relationship, and now all of her energy is being poured into this new man and starting this new relationship. And you know, the kids from the prior relationship, sometimes they can feel like they're taking a back seat to your newfound happiness or your newfound family or whatever. And a lot of times kids can feel like they're taking a back seat because you're no longer with that biological father. You know, you're with a new man, you're starting a new family. And a lot of times, you know, young men could feel abandoned, could feel like, you know, and not to mention that, you know, Monique was in the entertainment industry. He also probably felt like he wasn't really getting that mother son bonding time, or maybe that mother son a loving time. He felt a little bit left out. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't getting that because she's a celebrity. And not to mention that, you know, she has this new man, and this new man is not his father, right? We're going to get into that also. We're going to get into that. Let's continue what she was saying in this clip.
It's something that we as parents have to say, listen,
Right.
I've done what I could do. I've taken accountability for it. Now it's up to you.
Right.
That's like when
So it sounds like she's wiping her hands clean of this situation, where it's like she feels like she's apologized for her mishaps. She's apologized. Salute to Sinclair and salute to Nelly. I see y'all checking to the bill. Let me hit the warning for Sinclair and Nelly.
Warning, 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 warning.
But, you know, she feels like she has took responsibility and accountability for this situation. She feels like, you know, she's wiping her hands, that, you know, her son now, to be fair to Monique, to be fair to her son is a grown man now. He has his own family, has his own child now. He's come of age. She feels like there's nothing more that she can do. There's nothing more that she can say to mend that relationship. Right now, let's get into his thoughts. Well, actually, let me finish this clip up real quick. But we're gonna get into his thoughts, and we're gonna get into what he's talking about.
somebody's saying, Shannon, I want to apologize to you.
And I need to know. Let me know in the comments section. Sinclair, Nelly, everybody that's in the clouds. Are you still Team Mo? Are you still riding with Team Mo tonight? I need to know. Sinclair says a message to Monique. There are no throwaway children. That's shots fired.
Warning, 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 warning.
Shots fired. Nelly says, correct. Two things can be true at once. You know, they're clapping that move. You know, listen, man, you know, I personally think that, you know, she did treat him like a throwaway child. I got to be honest with you. It seemed like, you know, she clinged on to daddy. That's the name of her husband. Or she calls her husband daddy. She clinged on to husband or daddy, to daddy. And, you know, she started a new family, and that son that she had from a prior relationship, he got put on the back burner. He was no longer the priority. Her priority was career, daddy, and whatever kids that come out of that relationship. It was no longer her eldest son. He feels like he was on the back burner. And we're gonna get into his story. Let's continue with this clip though.
Now it's up to you
Whether or not to accept.
but once I give it to you, I've done my part. And don't apologize like no punk. I'm just sorry for everything. That gets your ass out of.
Now listen, she's kind of taking shots at her son here. You know, her son, we're going to get into her son very soon. Her son is very hurt. And when you listen to this young man speak, salute to this young man, Shalon, I believe his name is, the man is very eloquent. The man, he's only speaking from a point of view of hurt. You don't see this man putting up his middle fingers, telling his mom F you and oh Monique, I don't care if she my mom, and disrespecting her like that. The man is very eloquent, The man is very well spoken. He talks about how he feels abandoned. He was very eloquent. Let's continue though.
Of it, no, break it down.
Time around.
Now let's get into Mr. Shalon, where he had to talk about his mother, man, because Monique out here tripping if you don't know. Monique out here calling everybody sweet baby this and sweet baby that. Monique, why wasn't you taking care and giving your sweet baby that emotional, emotional time? And why you treating your sweet baby like this? You calling everybody in the world your sweet baby, but why you not, why you don't have that loving relationship with this sweet baby? This is your biological son, your own flesh and blood. Let's get into it though.
But to address the Club Shisha interview that she did, where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling her relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of.
Does this man sound like he's angry? Does this man sound like he's pissed off? This man has come to terms. He sounds like a man that has come to terms with how his mother is, how his mother has pretty much chosen her career, and daddy has pretty much chosen her career and daddy over her. Let's continue.
Having to continue telling that lie. Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other. We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care to be my mother any more than I care to be her son. Neither one of us.
So pretty much he's saying that, she doesn't care. She hasn't made no attempts. Now listen, it goes both ways. Cause Monique was up there talking about, I did my best and I tried and yada yada. I wiped my hands. Now it's up to you. No, Monique, it's up to both of y'all. Both of y'all gotta make that attempt. It's not up to him and it's not up to you. It's up to both of y'all. You are his mother at the end of the day. Now he is your son. But at the end of the day, Monique, this is your son. This is your own flesh and blood. You need to make an attempt as well. Let's continue.
Has had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time. And
Monique, are you taking accountability? Are you taking accountability, Monique? He says that both of y'all haven't made the attempts. Are you taking the accountability, Monique? Or is daddy telling you, nah, don't reach out to that broke nigga. Nah. Don't reach out to him. I know he's your eldest son. I know he's your oldest son, but don't reach out to that nigga. We trying to get this Tyler Perry settlement. Is Monique husband, blocking the relationship between her and her son? Is he blocking? Is the husband blocking? Is daddy blocking?
Us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with a conversation.
See, he know all about daddy. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind now, daddy is not his father. That's not his father. So just letting y'all know, that is not his father. That is not his father. Daddy is, her new husband. Well, at the time when, when he came into the picture, because he's the eldest son. So I'm guessing he's from a prior relationship Monique had. And, he feels like he's been put on the back burner.
And I'm tired of hearing my mother's truths. But to address the Club Shisha interview, newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble.
I agree, Monique. I gotta agree with him. You keep talking about your truth this and your truth that. Your truth this and your truth that. I mean, come on. You're up there fronting with Shannon Sharp, the new Medea. Talking about your truth this and your, I mean, come on. And then on top of that, you calling everybody your sweet baby. Why didn't you take care of this sweet baby? Why you didn't give this sweet baby the love and the affection that he needed? Why does this sweet baby, your own flesh and blood, your own biological son, why does he feel abandoned, Monique? Can you speak to that? Can you do that? Oh, Sinclair says, check in, turn him up. Barely can hear him. Hold on. I can't turn him up on here. Well, actually, let me see something. Hold on. Let me see something. He said, yeah, I can barely hear him. Give me a sec. I can't turn him up. You know what I will do though? I'm gonna turn off the beat. Let me turn the beat off. He's up high. I'm sorry. He's up as high as I can get him. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna turn the desktop audio up just a little bit. He's as high as I can get him, to be honest. I turned the beat off though. Let me turn the beat off. Let me know if you hear him a little clearer. Yeah, because he was speaking very low. Very low speaking man. But let's get back into what he was talking about.
Responding this way, I feel as though it allows me to say my piece uninterrupted. To those wondering, well, why say something now? Call it a form of therapy for me, I suppose. But when her daddy had intentionally stated that they have 3.
See, he's not rocking with daddy. And it's making me wonder, do you think that he feels like daddy has been brainwashing his mother? Does he feel like daddy has been, manipulating Monique and hurting the relationship with his mother? Does he feel like daddy, which is Monique's husband, does he feel like he has been an integral part of why they don't have a relationship, or why it's strange at this point? I'm wondering that.
3 sons, but his wife is on the internet talking about the 4th son in a video that has millions of views. That rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, to inform a child that you are not interested in being a mother at a time when that kid is the only kid, that has the potential to lead a child to believe that you are not interested in them specifically. Newsflash.
To me, it doesn't sound like this man is mad. He's really speaking from a place of hurt.
I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth.
Let's get to the next one.
But to take it a step further, you also admit, my mother had also admitted to me that she didn't do the best job that she could do.
Stop right there. Again, like I said, because Monique, and D.L. Hughley, he pointed this out. He did point this out. I got to give shout outs to D.L. Hughley. He pointed this out. He was like, you can't say all of these foul things about people and then, throw sweet baby at the end of it, And I got to agree with him because, Monique, I think she wants to be looked at as like, an auntie figure or like a motherly figure, or, something, just like that, that grandmother that you love, or that auntie you love, or that mother she wants to be looked at as that, because that's why she keeps going with that sweet baby this and sweet baby that, right? But my issue with Monique right now is this is your eldest son. And I just seen the interview where you said that, he has to come and submit himself to you. When it's like, at the end of the day, Monique, this is your son. Why aren't you reaching out to this young man? Why aren't you like, and I'm not saying that, he might have been, a handful to deal with. I'm not saying that maybe he was a rebellious son. A lot of mothers, they deal with rebellious sons. They deal with sons that, don't do what they're expected to do, or you just out of control sons. I've seen that before. But if this is your sweet baby, right? Because you love saying sweet baby this and sweet baby that. Why is this sweet baby saying that you never really, treated him like a son? He feels, the way he's sounding, he feels like he's like the, the family member you keep in the attic, and nobody, you throw a little plate of food in there, just shut the door. Remember that in what movie was that? Was that Soul Food? Y'all bring me up to speed. What movie was that? What movie was that? Well, they had like the family member, and they was like in the attic, and they just throw the food in the attic, and the guy is like some crazy. I don't know. I think it was soul food, right? But he feels like he was abandoned. He feels like that. Let's continue though.
Which would also make one begin to question, all of your past decisions and prior emotional interactions. But to be completely honest and fair, those were things that I was willing to get over. Nobody's perfect. We're all human. But my mother showed a clear lack of humility, compassion, and consideration when taking any level of accountability for those things. My mother does a fantastic.
Now let me stop right there. Now he's talking. This is your son, Monique. Let's put this in perspective. This is your son. He's saying that you didn't take accountability. He's saying that you're not taking any type of accountability of the fact that you abandoned me, that you never treated me like your son, you never treated me with love and care. Your son is saying you didn't take accountability. Now, if we look at all of these other dealings you've had, whether it be with D.L. Hughley or whether it be with Oprah or Tyler Perry, could it be safe to say that you didn't take accountability in those situations as well? Could it be safe to say that? Could it be safe to say that? Let's continue.
Fantastic job of acknowledging a lot of things, but she doesn't take accountability very well, and anything that she may take true accountability for, it's only at her convenience, in my experience. But if I had to guess, though, her interest in being a mother probably started around the time that she married her daddy and had his children.
Now he's saying, like I said, I talked about this before. Some sons, they feel like this, right? Because I've seen this before. I've never been through this, thank God. But some sons feel like this. They feel like, okay, their mother will have, their mother will have them with their father, right? So they're their biological son. But, ultimately the mother leaves. She finds a new man, right? And she starts a family with that new man. A lot of sons feel like, you're abandoning them because you're like, you've pretty much abandoned that man that you were in a past relationship with. And the son could feel like, well, why aren't you here, building up this family with my father? Or why aren't you just treating me like a mother? Why don't we have that motherly motherly son bonding? Why don't we have that? And let's be honest, Monique was chasing a check. She is a celebrity. She was a celebrity. She had a lot of roles. She had a lot of gigs. She was chasing being a celebrity. So maybe being a mother wasn't the priority. Let's just be honest here. Being a mother probably wasn't a priority. Chasing the bag and daddy. You was chasing the bag, the Hollywood bag, and you was chasing daddy. You wasn't, chasing having a healthy relationship with your son. You wasn't chasing having that motherly bonding with your son. You was chasing the bag and you was chasing daddy. Let's be real here. Let's continue though.
But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate, I guess you could say. There are now 2 baby boys in the house, that require attention. But still, during that time, however, I still watched her enjoy the love and admiration of total strangers more than my own.
And it goes into what I said. He doesn't sound like a man that's, he doesn't sound angry to me. He really doesn't. He sounds like a man that has come to terms with the abandonment he feels from his mom.
To this very day, my mother has never expressed to me when, if ever, she became interested in me as her son. That did lead me down a path of questioning my self-worth and struggling to understand the value of a mother in a child's life.
Wow.
In the interview, she also states that she gave me an apology, but an apology to a son from a mother that consciously showed no interest in him, holds around the time that she married her daddy and had children. No, wait. there are still women to this day that my mother will give credit to for being more of a mother to me than she ever could. Her assistant, my cousin, being one of them. Every time, though, that my mother would state that she was right here whenever I was ready, that ideology still blows my mind today, that a person could openly admit to being an uninterested, not put my best foot forward type of parent and be so self-centered that they still express to the kid, you have to come to me when you're ready. You got to come to me for us to make this right.
I agree with him in that point. I agree with him in that. I agree. Because Monique, because we seen the clip, Monique was saying that he has to come to her. That's what she pretty much said. She pretty much said she's wiped her hands clean of this situation, and now he has to make the effort, right? But I personally feel it doesn't work like that. It has to go both ways. They both have to break themselves and come together. It's not a one way. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna call him out. Y'all ready for me to call him out?
Warning, warning, warning.
I'm calling out Daddy, Monique's husband. I'm calling him out. Why, if you're this righteous man that, because Monique, she loves bigging this man up. You know, he must be putting some fabulous D on this woman, right?
Warning.
Because she loves bigging this man up. If you're this righteous, God-fearing, phenomenal man that Monique speaks about, why haven't you mended the fences between Monique and her eldest son? Because you see what, Monique's husband, and, I have to point him out, he got her on a press tour. She's on Shannon Sharp's podcast. She's on a tour with Cat Williams. He got her working. Why haven't you, mended the fences between her and her eldest son? One has to wonder. Because he spoke about how pretty much when he came into the picture, the eldest son was no longer the priority. He got put to the back burner. It was all about the career and Daddy. Let's continue.
Right. Okay. But I'm not sure what my mother could possibly think that she has shown me in the past or have for me now that's not money, goodness gracious, that would make me want to come to her or whatever those feelings are. No, wait.
Sinclair says, where is the unconditional love? I have to agree. Where is the unconditional love? I have to keep saying it. She keeps talking about sweet baby, because she kept pushing that narrative of we can't tell the sweet babies that. Here you have this sweet baby right here. This is your own flesh and blood, Monique. This sweet baby is hurting, clearly hurting, and you aren't making the effort. You're telling him that you wiped your hands clean of him. He has to make the effort. Ridiculous. Let's continue.
A mother is supposed to be the first woman that a boy falls in love with.
I agree.
I loved my mother very much, but my mother.
See that, and that speaks into the realism of he doesn't hate this woman. He doesn't hate this woman. So we can't go to the narrative of he must hate his mother, yada yada yada. He's not speaking from a place of hate. He's clearly speaking from a place of hurt.
Loved things more than she loved me, and she would value.
She loved things more than she loved him, meaning that she loved Daddy. She loved Daddy, right? And she loved that career. She loved that money. Did she love him? Did she give her son that emotional? Because he also talked about how, she would shower him with gifts. But I mean, let's be honest, showering someone with gifts, that's not love. That's just you just giving them things. Are you there for them emotionally? Are you there to comfort them? Are you there to show them that you love them, that you have this affection for them, that you have this affinity for them? He's speaking of that. That's what was missing. Yeah, she gave me some new bikes every year. Yeah, she gave me the new Dreamcast, the new Xbox, and the new PlayStation. But she wasn't there for me emotionally. She was out, doing the next Tyler Perry movie, the next Oprah movie, chasing them, or she was out somewhere with daddy, getting her cheeks clapped. But she wasn't chasing that relationship with her son.
Love for me by giving me things and would proceed to call me ungrateful or inconsiderate. Some things did not have the desired effect. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be her, though. To ask God for what you want, and then he gives you what you need, though, only for you to ignore it and have the audacity to ask God for something else. And I'm glad I don't. I'm glad I didn't do that. And when he told you no, you went to the universe instead. By no means, though, do I want to give off any type of an impression that I am a victim of anything. That's not the case. As you can see, I'm smiling from ear to ear. Supposed to be. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm a dad.
He's a dad. So Monique is a grandmother. Let me hit the warning for that.
Warning, 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 warning.
Monique, I have to ask this question. Because I'm suspicious now.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Monique. Your son just said he has a child. Now, I have to ask this question, Monique, because you're up here talking about sweet baby this, sweet baby that. Have you seen your grandchild? Have you seen your grandchild, Monique? You calling everybody around the world sweet baby. But did you see your own son's grandchild? Monique is looking bad. I'm going to be honest with you. She's looking bad right now. I'm going to be honest. I am no longer Team Mo. I'm not rocking with Team Mo no more. I'm off the bandwagon. I am not rocking with, I'm taking the shirt off. I'm taking it off. Taking the bandana off. No more Team Mo. Sinclair says, Monique better not need a bone marrow transplant. He may say no. I agree. If she needs some type of, kidney or some type of, a blood transfusion or something like that, he may say, nah, I don't really rock with her like that. He may say that. That may be what you saying is could be a reality. You're right. Nelly says, I do. You was talking about. You saying what? Sinclair. Sinclair has said it appears Daddy is the driver of Daddy's. Wait, it appears Daddy is the driver of Daddy's gravy train. I smell a grifter. And Nelly says, I do too. Something about him doesn't sit right with me. Listen. Daddy. What's the name of Monique's husband? Let me look that up. I think his name is Sydney, right? I don't want to keep calling this man Daddy. I know that's her thing, but hold on, let me look this guy's name up real quick, because I don't know if I want to keep calling him Daddy. Monique's husband. What's his name? Yeah, Sidney Hicks. Okay. Sidney Hicks. Listen, man, he got Monique working. I'm gonna say that. He got Monique working. She's doing this interview, she's doing that interview. I heard she's on tour with Cat Williams. He's got her working. And I don't know if y'all noticed it. Let me see if y'all noticed this. Nelly, Sinclair, did y'all notice this? Watch this. Every time Monique wants to address something, let's say on the internet, who do you see right next to her? Holding her hand. They sitting right next to each other. Every time. You never see Monique by herself addressing something. Just saying, you know what? Let me address this by herself. He's always right there. Even in the Shannon Sharp interview, he's standing right there. He's off camera, but he's standing right there. Every time I see them on the internet together, he's sitting right next to her, right there, holding her hand. We wanna address the public. Monique said a couple lies. We want to address the lies and not let the negative. You know how they up there with the flim flam. Come on. I'm starting to see through the facade, man. I mean, I'm not rocking with her like that no more. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Monique is a bold-faced liar. I'm starting to feel like that, Nelly says, Monique, blink twice if you need help. Yeah, I agree. It does scream like, she's being manipulated or brainwashed or used or possibly just mentally manipulated, or being used, if you will. It does come off like that. Is Daddy using her, or Sidney Hicks? Let me stop calling him Daddy. Sidney Hicks, her husband, is he using her? That could be something. That could be it. Sinclair says, weren't they in a open relationship for a while? Maybe he's got the dirt. Yeah. I did hear that. Maybe I'm gonna look that up after I get into all of this, because I did hear that, Sinclair, that they were in an open relationship at one point. At one point they were, right? Let's continue with her son and see what he had to say. But I do find that very weird, very peculiar, that she's calling everybody sweet baby, but here you have her son. He's feeling abandoned. He's feeling unloved. He's feeling like his mother was never there for him. Then to add to insult, he has a child of his very own. And I have to say, Monique, now listen, if you got your little issues with your son, that's fine and dandy. If you got issues with him, maybe he was a rebellious son. Maybe, the relationship was estranged. That's all fine and dandy. But what does your grandchild have to do with that? The grandchild ain't got nothing to do with the father being a rebellious son, or with you being a bad mother. Why aren't you coming to see that grandbaby? Why haven't you come through to him and say, listen, I want to see my grandchild. I want to see my grandbaby. I want to be a part of my grandbaby's life. Why aren't you doing that, Monique? Why isn't anyone asking that question? Because it would be safe to say if Monique ain't making the attempt to see her son and try to mend that fence, then she clearly not seeing the grandchild. She clearly don't have a relationship with the grandbaby. Monique, you're looking bad right now. Monique, you need to fix this. And listen, Monique has if you go into her past, Monique, she has had a very tumultuous relationship with her family. She talked about her, relationship with her mother and her father. She talked about her brother that, violated her at a young age. She talked about all of this. But Monique, you're supposed to be breaking those curses. You're supposed to be breaking those. Honestly, I don't understand why you don't have a relationship with your son. And maybe, he was, like I said, maybe he was rebellious. Okay, whatever. But what did that grandbaby do to you? Now you're hurting the grandbaby. Now the grandbaby doesn't have a relationship with the grandmother, because you can't get over this little gripe you have with your son. What is going on, Monique? You need to fix that with your son, and stop calling everybody your sweet baby, because you ain't treating this young man like a sweet baby. I'm gonna be honest with you. Nelly says, I didn't know that, Sinclair. Sinclair says, about the open relationship. Yeah, we're going to get into that. I'm going to look that up, because I did hear that. We're going to get into that. Let's get back to what he was saying, though.
I'm healthy, I think. I drink a lot of water. I'm getting over a cold now. I still have my days just like everybody else. And, there were a few things that she did teach me along the way. I did learn how not to love.
He's saying that his mother showed him how not to love. That's deep.
From my mother. I also learned to make sure that I never lose so much of who I am that I have to validate it through another person. And though I feel as though, in hindsight, I think she did it reluctantly. I do appreciate my mother, for showing me what the top of the mountain looks like. You know what I'm saying? It did give me perspective on what hard work and dedication can get you, but I don't want something like that at the cost of giving up something that I created. I don't want it that bad. And speaking of creations, I genuinely, truly, I really did want my mother to have a relationship with my daughter.
There you go. There you go. So she doesn't have a relationship with that grandchild. Monique, why don't you have a relationship with that grandchild? What did the grandchild do to you? Are you and daddy gonna sit on an Instagram live and make excuses why you don't have a relationship with the grandchild? What did the grandchild do? Did the grandchild throw up on your shoulder? Like, what did the grandchild do? You're gonna sit down with Shannon Sharp and talk about how the grandchild pooed in their pamper and how you felt so disrespected and you and your husband stormed out of your son's house. Like, well, like what's the excuse this time? Or will you choose to take accountability? You're the reason why you're not in your grandchild's. Because I don't see why you can't call your eldest son and just say, listen, I know I haven't probably been the best mother to you, or that's how you feel, but I want to have a better relationship with you, and not only you, but with my grandchild. Why haven't you done that, Monique? Why haven't you mended those fences? Let's continue, though.
I even fought. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm a dad. I'm healthy, I think. I drink a lot of water. I'm getting over a cold now. Through those intrusive thoughts that were, if she wasn't interested in you, what makes you think she's going to be interested in your kid? But it took my mother no time at all to prove that those intrusive thoughts were correct. But what I can say, good for her, the universe did, bless her with 3 other sons. They can't relate to what it is that I'm saying. My experience with my mother is not.
Pretty much he was saying that, the other kids that, she's had with her new husband, that they can't really relate to him because he feels like the son that she didn't want, or the son that, she abandoned. That's what he feels like.
Not their experience with our mother. So my prayer for her and them is that they continue to see her the way that they see her now. I do also want to make sure that I say thank you to my mother for giving me life. Without that moment in time, I wouldn't have had my little one. But outside of that moment, there isn't anything that either of us has to offer the other. In my opinion, it's a waste of God's time and the universe's time for praying for something that you were not willing to put forth any effort to attain. Putting the work into becoming Monique is more important to my mother than being my mother.
Wow.
And I do not believe that it was never about her being there and waiting for me, but it was supposed to be about me being there and waiting for her. My mother's value had reached such a low point in my life that I no longer found it necessary to either want to wait for her or even go to her. But like I said, man, I'm super grateful that she has the opportunity. They can't relate.
Wow.
Time around.
And none of this comes from a place. Like I said, it doesn't come from a place of hurt. I mean, not hurt, but it doesn't come from a place of hate. It comes from a place of hurt. It comes from a place of like, yo, man, I really felt like she let me down as a mom. Now let's get into Monique and her and daddy. Let's get into because they did a little Instagram live where they wanted to address their son's recent comments of what he was saying. Let's get into what they was talking about. Now, keep in mind what I said. Notice how every time Monique addresses the crowd, every time Monique addresses the room, she's always next to this man. Now, listen, I understand. That's your husband. That's your rock. That's what you lean on. I get it. I promise you, I get it. But to me, it does come off a bit like, like she's being manipulated, like she's being used, it does come off like he's like, controlling the ship, if you will. It's very peculiar. But let's get into what they was talking about.
Have
with your father where you spoke ill to him, not to mention spoke ill to your mother, but somehow your mother and father and I all have a loving relationship and communicate back and forth because of the love that we have for you. The one thing these individuals, and to the individuals out here that oftentimes...
And also notice how he's doing all the talking. Remember, the son, Shalon, everything he said, he was addressing Monique. Why is the father, well, excuse me, he's not the father, Shalon, but why is Sydney, Monique's husband, why is he doing all the talking? Why isn't Monique addressing her son? Notice that. Shalon, everything he was saying to Monique was directly to Monique. He brought up Sydney, every now and then. He talked about daddy and all of that. He brought him up every now and then. But mostly everything he was saying was directed at Monique. Why is Monique's husband doing all the talking right now? Why isn't Monique taking the time to address her son? That's very odd to me. Let's continue though.
Speak after they've heard one side of the story. There's an old saying, believe half of what you see and none of what it is that you hear. Please don't take our word for it, but what we will...
Sinclair says, like a ventriloquist doll or a handler. He's looking like a handler right now. He definitely has handler vibes. He does have handler vibes, or what do they call it, a conservatory status, like when somebody takes hold of somebody's estate, or they take hold of somebody's daily activities and stuff like that. Conservatory, I forgot how to pronunciate it, but conservatorship, whatever it's called. But he does have handler vibes. He does. And I mean, a few seconds in here and she still hasn't addressed her son. Why is the stepdaddy addressing Monique's son? That's not his son. Why isn't Monique addressing her son? Your son feels unloved. Your son feels like, unwanted. Why aren't you addressing your son, Monique?
Convey is this: those who are parents and have raised their parents up to being adults,
The children.
She had to butt in then. He finally let her get a word in. He finally let her get a word in. It's the first time we heard her speak. Absolutely ridiculous. Nelly says Sydney or daddy or whatever his name is, have a tall glass of STFU. Mind your business. I agree. He needs to mind his business. Stop getting in between this mother and son, voicing how they feel about each other. He's in the way. I agree with you, Nelly. He's definitely in the way. Sinclair says he's stepping out of his lane here. He should have called him directly and tried to mend the relationship. I agree as well. Monique is saying he's this righteous, he's the greatest man I ever met, yada yada yada. Why isn't he, trying to fix that relationship between you and your son? He's on top of business. Warning. He's on top of business. He's making sure you hitting all your stand-up tour gigs. He's making sure you on time for the Shannon Sharp interview. He's making sure, he's making sure that check cleared the bank. But when it comes to the relationships in your life, when it comes to the relationship with your son, he ain't on top of that. But he on top of that money, though. He on top of that money. I give him that.
Raise their children up to be an adult.
right on. Those who are parents that raise their children into adulthood know that there comes a time and a place in which they determine their own decisions, their own path.
Sydney, you are not his father. What are you talking about? That's not shit. Like, listen, everybody knows. Every young man knows, right? Every young man knows this, right? When your mother, she's not with your biological father anymore. She goes off. She starts dating a new man. Yada, yada, yada. Right? Every young man knows, like, listen, this man is not your father. This man can't tell you what to do unless your father say, listen, when I'm not here, listen to this man. All right, listen to this man. If he tells you to do yada yada yada, do yada yada yada, make sure you take care of your mother, but you make sure you listen to this man. Unless your father gives you instruction to listen to this man is not your father. This is just some man laying down with your mother currently. You have no authority in the situation, Sydney. Right now, you are in between a mother and son, and any man that would do this is wrong. He's very wrong for doing this because you're like hindering this relationship right now. You should be the one to say, you know what, Monique, you need to sit down with your son, have a conversation. If it goes left, if it goes whatever, then okay, it goes left. But at the end of the day, you need to talk to your son. You need to be helping that relationship. He's not helping, because, he want to make sure that check clear. He want to make sure, Monique is at that next gig. Nelly says, I have to reboot and fast forward to the current timestamp. It keeps looping back to the beginning of the video. Oh, are you talking about when I was watching those clips? Yeah, I mean, I was watching it on Instagram. My fault. What are y'all talking about? The reboot? I've rebooted 3 times. What happens? I keep getting kicked out of the live. Really? I don't know what's going on. Everything's good on my side. I don't know. Really? I'm not having no issue over here. Let me see. Really? I don't know. Give me a second. Hold on. Let me just check something real quick. Yeah, I'm not having no issues over here. Sinclair said Sid's straight. COCK blocking. He kind of is. I would definitely say that. But let's continue what he was talking about in this clip here.
You can have multiple children that are raised in one house, but they act and they take on different things. The reason why it was so important for us to entertain these conversations that we typically have privately, or that we're influenced to have privately amongst the people in our community, is because we need to stop being embarrassed about being human beings and about being black human beings. You will often
this woman has sit there. She's literally said 2 words this whole. We've been watching this video of this man speak. This woman has not addressed her son not one time, like directly, from mother to son. Monique, like, honestly, I'm starting to believe Tyler Perry and Oprah. I'm starting to believe them. I'm definitely not Team Mo. Let's continue.
Times hear us saying we are embarrassing ourselves in front of them. Who is them?
Who are they?
Because when you hear someone articulate these things, that is the
salute to Joni. Salute to Joni Joan. She said, did I miss the sun side? Yeah, I was playing the sun side. Ultimately, let me just give you a breakdown, Joni Joan, of the sun side. The sun side pretty much is this. He feels that Monique abandoned him. He feels like, Daddy, which is Monique's husband, Sidney Hicks. He came into the picture because he did say this in the beginning of the video. He said he came into the picture and he feels like, pretty much the eldest son, he feels like he took a back burner. He took a back burner to Monique's career and to her being with Daddy. She was chasing, Daddy D. She was chasing Daddy D. Let me just keep it a buck. She was chasing Daddy D. And she was chasing that Monique career. She was trying to get those Tyler Perry movies, those Oprah movies. She was chasing that bag, all right? And he feels like Monique never gave him that emotional because he talks about how she gave him gifts. She gave him, she was, substituting that for love. He feels like he never got love from her, affection, her being there, her, being there emotionally. He even feels like, they don't really have that mother to son bond. He feels like that. He feels like she was never there for him. So ultimately he was, expressing that. And he also went into, now this was the biggest deal of the whole situation, was he talked about how he has a child, and that Monique hasn't even made the effort to mend the fences with her son and to ultimately be in that grandchild's life. Because listen, at the end of the day, listen, I understand, maybe Monique feels like the son was rebellious. Maybe she feels like the son didn't listen. Maybe she feels like the son was like, one of those wayward sons, like, one of those sons that was out of control. Maybe that's how she feels. That's her perspective, right? But at the end of the day, your eldest son has a child. That grandbaby hasn't done nothing. That grandbaby is still a child. Why haven't you made attempts to be in that grandchild's life, Monique? You can make your little excuses for the son, but you have no excuse for your grandbaby. You have no excuse for that grandchild. Why you're not in that grandchild's life? And you're out here calling everybody sweet baby this, sweet baby that. Oh, the sweet babies. You can't tell the sweet babies that. Hogwash. Right? So pretty much in a nutshell, I mean, yeah, Junie's gonna say, yeah, that's terrible. It is. It is terrible. Monique, I was Team Mo, right? I was Team Mo for a hot minute. I was Team Mo when she was clapping at DL Hughley. I was on her side. I was like, yo, we going in on DL. But as more things come out, I'm looking like, yo, Monique is not a good person. Not only is Monique not a good person, Monique is a liar. She's a liar. We've caught her in at least 2 lies. She's lying. And it's safe to say that maybe, because her son talked about how her son, he was also saying this in the video, that, she doesn't take accountability. She doesn't take accountability. And it's making me think, okay, because she talked about Oprah, she talked about Tyler Perry. Maybe she never took accountability in none of those relationships. Those relationships went south, and she never took accountability for them because she's not taking accountability for her son, right? She's not mending those fences. She said that she's wiped her hands of him, right? Meaning that he has to come to her. So it's making me say, like, you know what? Monique is just not a good person. Monique is being used by Sidney Hicks, her husband, allegedly. He looks like a handler. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like Sinclair said, he's like the ventriloquist dummy. He's like a ventriloquist right now. He got it's crazy. But and I like I said, I find it very peculiar that every time you see Monique, every time you see her, you see her husband and him, they hand in hand like this. We want to talk to you guys about, like, what's the issue? Why can't Monique just sit down by herself and talk to the masses? Why can't she sit down by herself, talk to her son over the internet? Why does the daddy, Sidney Hicks, why does he always have to be involved? Why does he always have to be in the mix? He's in the mix on this IG. He's in the mix on the Shannon Sharp interview. It's a little too much. You're looking like a handler. It's looking like he's like mentally manipulating this woman and using her. And like I also said before I play this, remember, he's not helping in any form or fashion. He's not helping mend those fences with her son. He's not helping mend those fences with, relationships with her family, because most of her family isn't rocking with her with either, right? But he's making sure she's on time for that Shannon Sharp interview. He's making sure she's on time for that stand-up tour. He's making sure, that check cleared from whatever show booked her. He's making sure of that. Very peculiar. Let's continue, though.
The slaves mentality. It makes us believe that we as black people need to conduct ourselves with dignity because white people are watching.
We got 9 people in here. I need y'all to hit that like button. That is a warning. Warning. Need you to hit that like button. Make sure you share this content. Let's continue, though.
You should conduct yourself with dignity because the spirit of you is watching. Come on. But we need to have these conversations out loud and tap.
Why Monique acting like he preaching right there, like he cooking or something? Stop it, Monique. A bunch of babble. Monique, your son is hurting. Your son is hurting inside. He's felt like you've abandoned him for years. Why didn't you sit on this IG live and address him directly? Why is your husband doing all the talking for you? Very, very awkward. Very much.
Boo, because we have a finite period of time together here on this earth. You will travel through infinity with the spirit that you have all alone, and you will not remember the ridicule that you received, but you will be judging yourself. You will be determining for the rest of your life which way that you go.
Sydney, what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? Why is Monique not in the grandchild's life? Why hasn't Monique mended the fences with her son? Why hasn't Monique been there for her son emotionally? Why isn't she doing or making an effort to reach out to him? Those are the questions that need to be asked. You're babbling about some nonsense that doesn't even make sense. I'm starting to believe he is the handler. I think that Monique is being used, being handled. This man realizes that Monique is a gravy train and he's riding her. He's riding her coattails. I truly believe that. This whole ordeal has made me come to that conclusion because this is ridiculous. This is honestly ridiculous. Let's continue, though.
Go as you have thus far. So this conversation is about speaking directly to what situations are. And many people oftentimes, when they are presented with an issue, they stay quiet, they hide, they disappear. And what we're saying is that's not who we are, because
you are hiding. Because your son hasn't seen you in years and that grandchild haven't seen you in years. You are hiding. You're hiding from your son. You're definitely hiding from that grandbaby. If there's anybody you're hiding, you are hiding.
What you cannot do is you cannot trick an honest person.
Come on.
You can demean.
Monique, you lied on 2 different occasions. What are you... Monique, you got caught lying twice. You lied about sending the cease and desist to D.L. Hughley. You lied about that. What are you talking about? You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar. You're not an honest person. You got caught lying. Is anybody backing your story about, all the things you said about Tyler Perry? Will Shannon Sharp, I guarantee you, because Shannon Sharp, he claimed he heard some recording with Tyler Perry saying, yeah, I did violate you and yada, yada, yada. I bet you Shannon Sharp won't sit in no courtroom and say that. I guarantee you that. Shannon Sharp is going to say, no, I never heard no recording. I never heard nothing. Shannon Sharp ain't sitting in no courtroom for Monique. He ain't doing that. His career on the up and up. He ain't sitting in no courtroom for Monique. Think he going to do that for her? Absolutely not. Sinclair says, oh, so their inability to parent is because of white people. I bet his shoulder hurts from reaching. Oh, man. I agree. I agree. Joni Jones says, where is the phone recording from the floor? That's another thing. Why didn't Monique put out that recording? Why didn't she put it out? It's her recording, right? She said, now keep in mind, Joni June, you know what she said on the Shannon Sharp interview? She said, well, I recorded it in a state where I can't, because, you know, because in certain states you can't record conversations. But she said, I was in a state where if I recorded, I can't get arrested for that. Or, I can't be prosecuted or sued for that, yada, yada. That's what she said, right? So if that's the case, release the audio. Release it. Put it out. Let the world hear Tyler Perry saying what you said he said on that interview. Because I guarantee you Shannon Sharp will not sit in no court saying that he heard that. Ain't nobody sitting in no court saying he's not vouching for this woman. He's not vouching for it. It's ridiculous. Oh, you said it's out? It's out? I need to hear that. I need to hear that. Oh, she did? Where can I find that audio, Junie June? You know where I can find that audio? I would love to hear it. Let me play this and look it up on my phone. Give me a second. Hold on.
You can say whatever you want to say about them negatively, but what will happen is truth has a way of standing the test of time. I forgot to have my phone to read the last text message that I gave to you, Shalon, where I told you about the understanding of how you are speaking to a woman and how you as a man and how you perceive things.
I do see something that says audio of Tyler Perry and Monique's call. DL still mad, Oprah. I do see something. Hold on. Here's the phone call that had Monique. Okay. Yeah, I do see something. Okay. Yeah, we got some. Yeah, there is some audio here. Hold on. Monique recorded phone call with Tyler. Okay, hold on. We're going to play this next because I've never heard this. I do want to hear this. Hold on. I see it here. Let me send this to myself because we got to get into this because I've never heard it. I've never heard this. Let me send this to myself. Hold on. Hopefully there's not a bunch of cursing on it. Hold on. This came out 4 days ago. Okay, 4 days ago. I'm gonna have to get into this. Actually, I think I might get into this in another video because I need to go through it just to make sure it's like nothing crazy in it. But let's continue. The husband sounds crazy though. Like, yo, you're not this young man's father. You got all these thoughts and opinions on this young man. Like you're not the biological father. You just some dude that, you know, Monique is married to. You got all these thoughts and opinions on this young man, but you're not the father. I mean, he's very much overstepping his boundaries.
May be completely different from how your wife, how your mother, how your sister, how your daughter will look at things. And when you learn how to communicate a little bit better, then things happen a little bit better because of the challenges that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much what they said in that. I mean, personally, you said there's no cursing in it, though? You said there's no cursing. Maybe I will play. Hold on. Just give me a second, though. At the end of the day, though, I mean, he's overstepping his boundaries, though. That's not your son. Like you have no authority in a situation. Like you're just Monique's new boo. That's all it really is. You're just Monique's new boo. You don't got no authority in a situation to be telling this young man all of this nonsense. Now this is her eldest son, you know, back in simpler time. You know? In a simpler, you know, back when they was, you know, maybe they had a better relationship. But yeah, man, I mean, very much overstepping the boundaries, very much disrespectful. I mean, y'all literally just saw it. Monique literally said I could count on one hand how many words she said. I could literally count on one hand how many words she said during that whole spill. Like she didn't make any effort to, you know, talk to her son. That was a clear opportunity for her to say, let me talk to my son here. Let me tell him what's going on, and let me tell him how I feel and why I haven't been there. Like, she could have took that opportunity. And it's safe to say, you know, listen, this is just my opinion. You know, I don't expect nobody to subscribe to this opinion, but I think Monique is a bad person. I think Monique is a bad person, and I also think that she's a flim-flammer. She's a flim-flammer, and she's also a person that, you know, burns down the house, and she looks at everybody else like they're the ones that caused it. You know? You have these issues with Oprah, you have all these issues with Tyler Perry, but you're not talking about what you did. What did you do wrong, Monique? Clearly you did something wrong to where these people, you know, took action upon you. Clearly you did something. So what did you do? She never really gets into what she's done. She never really gets into, you know, maybe she might have said something or did something to this person or did something to that person. She's not getting into that. She's getting, you know, she just wants to point fingers.
Is saying, wait a minute,
Hold on.
We don't know this sister to be no bull.
Hold on. Let's get into this audio.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
New Monique. Let me hit that bomb. It's DJ Clue. New Monique. Clapping at Tyler Perry. Hold on. We're going to get into this. Hold on. This is by way of Twitter. Let me take this down for a second. I'm having too much fun right now. Hold on. All right, let me put this up. Do y'all see this is on the screen? Are we good here? Hold on. All right, it's on the screen. All right. So this is the audio. This is the audio that I seen. It says Monique recorded phone call with Tyler Perry. So let's get into what was being said on here.
Is saying, wait a minute, hold up. We don't know this sister to be no bullshitter. We know she allowed my...
Oh, come on. You said there was no curses. They got off the rip. Oh man. All right, let's see what goes on. Cause you know when Monique start cursing, she just keeps going on. She doesn't know how to talk like a respectable young lady at certain points. You know, sometimes she wants to go in her little motherly mode and call everybody sweet babies, but then she want to go back to her ratchet ways. You know, she's like right now sound like she's in her ratchet bag. But let's see what she's saying.
We know she'll say some shit off the wall, but what we know about it is she true to her word.
And all I would ask you is two questions. The first question is, did you not just say it was wrong?
Tyler.
Did you not just say it was wrong, Tyler? To say she was difficult for not doing something that she was not contractually obligated to do? Did you not say that you would feel that was wrong? Or am I missing something?
I absolutely said that, yes.
So the question I would say is...
Now you notice that's her husband on the phone call. He does everything. She does everything with this man. Think about it. The Instagram lives, the Shannon Sharp interview. He's there at every point, at every juncture. He's there. Let's continue.
Okay.
Now they're pressing Tyler.
You know, taking that back to them was just a huge problem, okay? And I'm going to say a couple of things in a minute, because I just watched your podcast, and it really broke my heart, because number one, I feel you. I feel the sadness that's from you in all of this. And I don't want you to feel that, I mean, especially for me. I can't speak for anybody else. But for me, I'm not anyone that wants to hurt or offend anybody, especially you. I think you are brilliantly talented. I think you should have a lot more happening than you from that award. I thought for sure that if you had campaigned and won it and played by their rules, what would happen is...
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Like I'm playing a mixtape.
And your career in the film would have been much different. I believe that much in your talent. So it's saying all of that. It's saying all of that. I just.
Junie June said it's a different one. This the one that I seen. This the one that I saw they've been promoting. Yeah, I this the one I seen. I didn't see a different one. This the only one that I seen.
I just say it's just heartbreaking because I don't ever want you to think that I'm not trying to blackball or say anything. Please give me what I say. I'm not trying to hurt you. I would never try to hurt you.
It sound like he said he's not trying to hurt her. He said that he ain't trying to blackball her. Where is the clip where he says that he violated her? Monique said, "Oh, I have a clip where he said he did violate me." I haven't heard that yet. Let's continue.
If Monique asked Lionsgate for a favor and they told her no, and she's asking for a favor that is not contractual, not something that they're contractually obligated to do, and they told her no, but then she went and told the world how difficult that they were, do you think that would be fair or unfair?
No, that's not fair. It's not fair. No,
So the question, pardon me. So the question I would ask of you, good sir, because I appreciate you being honest enough to answer that with a relative quickness. I really do. So the question that I would ask you is this. If we should do unto others as we would have them do unto ourselves, the question I would ask is, how do you sit back, or how would you feel if someone said about you that you were difficult to work with because you didn't want to perform for them a function that you were not contractually able or obligated to do? How would you feel about that?
Well, as I said, that's not fair. If I bring a movie for Monique over there, I'm going to have to say it. I'm going to have to defend it. I'm going to have to fight for it.
Well, it's easy. It's easy because all you would be doing is telling the truth. You are 6'6" black man.
Come on. Listen, I ain't got no problem, man. I ain't got no problem. Trust me when I tell you, I ain't got no problem.
Well, that's why we saying then.
What I'm saying to you.
Then say it now. Say it now.
Say it now. I'm black and I'm proud.
Come on.
James Brown is counting.
I'm saying it now. I will let all of this cool off when I get back out on the press tour to promote my next thing. I know it's going to come up. That is when I will talk about it. But no, it's too hot. It's too hot. Y'all heated it up.
One thing that's
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear nothing too crazy from what I'm just gathering. Yeah, I haven't heard nothing too crazy. I mean, he said in that clip that he wasn't trying to blackball her, or he wasn't trying to do none of this stuff. That's what I heard. That's what I got from that. I didn't hear nothing about I violated you. That's what Monique said. Now let me just look something up real quick. Hold on, because Junie June said she was gonna look something up for me. Salute to Junie June. Let me see. I see that there are full audio of. See, that's the thing though. I can't really get into the full audio. I mean, that was a 4-minute clip. The only reason I don't want to get into a full minute audio is because listen, Monique is a ratchet, a ratchet booger bear from she's really reckless with the mouth. You heard her. She's really reckless with the mouth. I wanna at least comb through the video or comb through the audio before I start playing it. I don't want her running off at the mouth saying something crazy. So I at least want to check out the video, check out the audio before I start playing it. So I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll do it another time, another video. We'll get into it. Right now, I can't really get into it because I don't know what she's gonna say. I don't know. It's not like I have the dialogue in front of me where I could okay, she's gonna say this. Okay, she's gonna say that. I don't know the dialogue. And she may just run off at the mouth and say something crazy. But at the end of the day, it's listen, Monique, and we're kind of going off topic because this has nothing to do with her son. Let's get back to her son. Let's get back to that relationship, right? Let's get back to that. That's what matters. Let's put that younger picture up of them. They look so adorable. Oh, they look so adorable. But yeah, you know, she needs to mend those fences. She needs to mend those fences, you know. Yeah, salute to Junie June for looking that up. Salute, Junie. Thank you, because I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that clip. I didn't know it was out. All this time, I didn't know it was out. I thought it was like something like, you know, I thought it was something that she was just talking about, but I didn't know she actually put it out. So yeah, salute to you for giving me that clip. But you know, ultimately, she needs to fix this relationship with her son. You know, she really needs to do something about it. Put my music back on. Hold on, put my music back on. Get in the zone right here. Get in the zone. She needs to mend those She needs to mend those fences. You know, I mean, there's no excuse why you haven't mend those fences with your son. You owe it to him. Yeah, no problem, Jenny Jones. Well, Jenny Jones says, welcome. Sinclair says, Monique's version of this conversation isn't jiving with what I heard. I agree. From what I heard too, like, you know, from that clip, because there is a full audio. I did see it. There's a full audio of it, right? I didn't play it yet. Maybe next time I do a stream, we'll get into the full audio. But in that clip, in that small clip, it was only 4 minutes now. But in that small clip, I didn't hear nothing about Tyler talking about. After I get off this stream, I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna listen to it myself. But in that small clip, I didn't hear nothing about Tyler saying, "Oh, I violated you and I did this to you and I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. He said I didn't want to blackball you. You know, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. You know. But in my opinion, in my final assessment of this whole thing, I think Monique is a bad person, though. I think she's a bad person, you know, and I think that her husband is manipulating her. Her husband is using her for a bag. Her husband is like, just like almost like her handler, like y'all said. You know, I agree. It's like a handler, you know. He's clearly Sidney Hicks. I think that's his name, Sidney. You know, he's clearly, in the way of that relationship. He's clearly in the way. He's clearly blocking that relationship. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's blocking that relationship. You know, so and the son, he talked about it. He was like, yo, when he came into the picture, it just seemed like, you was all about him. Like everything was about daddy. Everything was about daddy. It stopped being about your son. It was all about daddy. Crazy. But that's all I'm gonna say about the topic. More than likely I'll probably come back and do a video on the audio. Just let me comb through it real quick. But salute to Junie June for that clip. Salute to Sinclair. Salute to Nelly. Salute to all the mods. Salute to everybody in the clouds right now. Salute to everybody that came out on this whole Monique deal. I will see you guys on another video, another stream, another live stream. Hope you guys have been entertained as well as enlightened. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in another video. We out of here, man. Y'all have a good night. Well, actually, I might do another live before I call it. I might, if you want to tune in. I have to talk about Dr. Umar. A black queen. Let me just say this before I get off this live. A black queen attacked Dr. Umar on stage. I have to talk about that. I may do a live on that before I go to bed. But a black queen in Atlanta attacked Dr. Umar. I may have to get into that. But salute to everybody. I'll see you guys in another live stream. We out of here, y'all. Toodles.
These studies announce me honestly put the